I think you get a little tired or a little bored if you're just doing one thing all the time.
Aaron, hi.
Hi.
I was reading up on you, and you've done a lot of different projects. You've worked together with people like David Byrne and Feist, Grizzly Bear. Of course, in the National, the Clocks. You worked on the Long Count project and the Dark Was the Night project. Do you get bored soon? I was wondering.
Um, I think when you have a career doing music, you do often, I think, look for ways to just keep yourself interested and try different things and meet other musicians. And I know for my brother and I, in the last 2 years since Boxer, or 3 years, we've done a lot of other projects, and that's been really a good thing, just to kind of try different things musically, and in the case of Dark Was the Night, to be able to bring together a bunch of our friends and musicians we love to create something that would have a charitable effect, and to create, revenue that could be given away. That was a really nice feeling and a good thing to be involved with. I think you get a little tired or a little bored if you're just doing one thing all the time. Like if it was only the National all the time, you might start to feel, a little one-dimensional or something. So it's good for your brain, I think, to get inside other people's music and to experience how someone else writes a song. And
Does it also influence your music with the National?
not really. Although it's always interesting, it's always like makes your brain hurt a little bit to play someone else's music and to see, because everyone has their idiosyncratic way of doing things. So when you learn someone else's song because you're going to play with them, or it kind of, I think it's a good challenge to kind of like get outside of yourself. And maybe you do learn some things. I mean, you learn like, I learn more from people's attitudes, like their attitude towards music, like if they're very laid back, or if they're very, they don't like to be too careful, or too, the way someone will actually record something. You learn a lot from that, that you can then bring to your own music. But I don't really, I do get influenced by people, but usually it's subconsciously. So I will like accidentally steal things from people, but I didn't know I was doing it until after the fact. So that's been happening recently. But
Like on what?
there are some things like just from friends. Like there's a chord progression that is in one of the songs on this new record that now that I hear it, I know it's a song of Sufjan Stevens, his friend. The chord progression of Conversation 16 is similar to this song he wrote called Sister Winter, and in a different key and it's expressed differently, but it's funny because I hadn't thought of that at all, and then it just occurred to me, but we laughed about it, so it's just kind of...
Him too? Did he recognize it when you heard it?
I don't know, yeah, but he laughed. It's just funny. It's like nobody owns chords, so it's like, it's one thing if you... But it's just funny how you kind of like absorb music, and then like the song has a lot of other things about it which make it unique, but it does share this one kind of chord progression in parts of it with that song, so... Yeah.
Do the other members of the band also have that many side projects, apart from your brother then?
My brother does the most, I would say. He's very involved in a lot of contemporary music and composed music, and he has a festival in our hometown in Cincinnati called Music Now that he works on every year, and he performs with a lot of composers, Steve Reich and different people. So for him, it's kind of a vibrant career outside of the National. It's great. Other people have done some things. I think Brian, our drummer, is starting to play more with other people. He's such an amazing drummer, so people seek him out more and more, I think, and he likes that. Yeah, so there isn't a whole lot of time to do things when we're on tour, and so like now that process begins, and I think we'll be busy for almost a year and a half at least. So it'll be harder to do things outside the band.
How many of those things do you do with your brother?
I mean, I would say a lot of the time we're working together on things. It's just natural. We live on the same street. We obviously play well together. We don't have to teach each other things. He's good at finishing my ideas. I'm good at finishing his ideas. So we worked on a big project together for the Brooklyn Academy of Music last year called The Long Count. And just like 70 minutes of music, and it was a collaboration with Kim and Kelly Deal, and from the Breeders, and with Matt from the band, and with Shara Warden, and with a visual artist, Matthew Ritchie, who made a film. And that was, in some ways, that project was as ambitious as the Nationals album, although not quite, but it was a really good experience. And you kind of like, sometimes you wonder, like maybe you need to take a break from working with your brother, because we get, there's a lot of friction at times, but in other ways I think it's...
Like when is there friction?
When
was there
our way of encouraging each other is sometimes to be a little harsh. So it's like tough love. I don't know. He says I'm worse than him, but I think he's worse. But yeah, you're just like... sometimes it's like we just say what appear to be mean things to each other, but actually it's because we're so close that we can say them. So it's like we can be very critical.
Would you never want to do something completely apart from him?
Yeah, no, and I do. I do. Like I've been starting to work on some other people's records and more as a producer, and I'm interested in that. I like to tinker with songs a lot and with music, and it's kind of what I do in the National. So I've started to work with other people more, and that's exciting. And I think eventually we'll do many different things, and I'm sure I'll do a lot away from him, but we're still kind of in this, I guess it's the National, the National's still growing and trying to write better songs. And